Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit special. We are starting a series speaking to ordinary, extraordinary people, and today we have the pleasure of speaking with my extraordinary friend Lola. You may know her from Lola_Ebony on Instagram or Lola's Outlet on YouTube. Today we are going to go a little bit deeper and we're going to get to know the side that you are yet to see. Yes. I've known you for a very long time. I've known you from when you were, I would say, a very shy, maybe perhaps even insecure young lady growing into this very strong and independent, great woman.
Thank you.
So today I would like us to talk about a little bit about that journey, how, you know, what happened to that shy little girl, and, you know, a little bit of gossip, because I know you, so I feel like we can spill the tea a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can drink your tea.
It's true.
I don't want the sort of diluted version. I want the
real
unfiltered version. Okay. I thought we'll start off with a story, because you are a storyteller. You write, you produce, you have voiceovers.
Yeah.
So I thought we'll start from a story. We'll start with a little story. In this story, I want to be the beginning, like where you were, that shy, insecure girl, to where you are now. That would be the middle, and the ending. Perhaps, you know, I'm sure your story hasn't ended yet, but where you see yourself in the future, 5, 10, 20 years time. But you can only use 3 words to tell this story.
3 words? Wow, okay, that's put me on the spot. 3 words. Ooh, wow. So the first word to describe the beginning was, I'm trying to think of a word that, okay. Ooh. First word to describe the beginning, well, I know you've mentioned it, but I'll just say insecure. That's the first word to describe my beginning. My middle, trust. I'll use that word. And then the ending, well, it's not yet the end yet, but I'll just say believe.
Okay, so we've got insecure, we've got trust, and we've got belief. So you started off insecure. I guess trust is currently present.
Yeah.
And belief is the future.
Yes.
And the ending.
Yeah.
Like I said, and like we've discussed, we said that you're a writer, you produce, you do soundovers. How did you get into the world of TV?
That's a very good question. I mean, it's just so funny. Like, every time I think about it, I'm always like, God, wow, you're so amazing. Because like you rightly said, I was a terribly insecure, shy, lack of confidence. I did not even comprehend how I got into the media, because the media is a place where you have to be vibrant, you have to be bubbly, you have to be confident, because it's all about networking, it's all about being in front of people, talking to people on a daily basis. So somehow I managed to survive in it. And I think how it all came about was when I was in secondary school. We were offered a chance to take media studies as a GCSE, and I was like, oh, okay. There's only 30 spaces, and in the whole of year 11, I think we had about maybe 200 pupils, so everyone was trying to rush to get it. So I remember I went to Catford Girls, if anyone knows that school, and I was living in Brockley at the time, and I think it was on a Friday, and the first people to put their names down got onto the course. So school started at 9, and I realized that, you know what, I have to get on that course. So I left my house, I think this was when I was about 15 or so, left my house at maybe 5:30 a.m. from Brockley to make sure I got to school on time. So I got to school about maybe 7 a.m. and I waited there in the queue. I think I was probably the 5th person actually in the queue, and I made sure I got on that course. I got on that course, and that course changed my life. And so after I did that at secondary school, I went to college and took up film studies, media studies, English language and literature, and politics. Then I went to University of Nottingham, and I did film and television studies, and I realized that, you know what, I actually want to be in the media. But at first I was just thinking as a writer. I loved writing stories, films, scripts, all that kind of stuff. I somehow fell into presenting because and I'll just tell this story briefly. I was doing work experience at a church, at Jesus House Church, because I couldn't get a job in the media at that time. It was a bit difficult, and they introduced me to a TV station called OTV, and at that time my hair was freshly cut. And that was like about 8 years ago, and it wasn't that popular then for us women to just be cutting their hair like that. So I went there, and they were like, oh wow, we like your look. And then when they heard my voice, and when they saw me, they just thought, oh, you look kind of, you know, Afrocentric, and we want that kind of look for one of the shows that we're doing at the time, which was Africa Rising, and that is actually how I fell into presenting. Doing that built me up, so I learned how to get into public speaking, and the rest is history.
I remember we met when we were about 15 years old.
Yeah.
And, you know, not to dwell on it, but I think it may help someone out there that's listening today. And I remember that 15-year-old Lola being very, very, very shy and timid. So when you were 15, did you always know that you wanted to be in this media world? And how did you think you were going to do it when at that time, and you've said this on your channel, I remember hearing, it was difficult for you to even walk into a room. How did you think you were going to get from that girl that can't even walk into a room to being on a TV in front of millions?
Oh, that's such an amazing question, because I honestly, when I think about it, I don't know, it was just, all I can say is it's just God, because the type of shyness I had was that crippling shyness, like that shyness where I would sweat to just answer a question. Going from that to becoming someone who can confidently speak to the camera in front of people and host events and stuff like that, it was just, my thought process, I guess, at that age of 15 was, you know what, if I really, really want to succeed in this field, I have to believe in myself. The first word that I used was insecure to describe the beginning, and then the second word I used was trust, because I didn't trust my instincts, I didn't trust my abilities, I didn't think I could perform, I didn't think I could do all these things. And then I had to change my mindset to believe that, you know what, Lola, even though you're 15 and you feel this way, if you put your mind to it. And ironically, it was that time of actually getting up early to get on that course that made me realize that, you know what, whatever you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I got an A* in it.
Amazing.
So when I got an A* in it, I was just like, you can do this. This is something you like, you enjoy doing. So it just kind of pushed me to just work on my my confidence.
And so from that time, so 15 years ago, without giving your age away, because you might not want some people to know, it's been about 15 years since that time has passed, let's just say. What are some of the amazing things that you've been able to achieve in those 15 years?
Oh wow, so my career really started with the TV channel OTV, which was on Sky Channel 199. It's now an online TV station now, and I was with them for a number of years, and that was my first sort of insight into how the TV world worked. And we were a black family entertainment channel. We were young, we were new in the game, and so we were experimenting with a lot of content, a lot of programs. Unfortunately for me, I got to present a show called Africa Rising, which was all about Africans in the diaspora. I got to go to so many interesting events. I got to interview a lot of Nigerian celebrities like D'banj and Two-Face, Idibia and Omotola, and I got to fly to Nigeria a few times for events. There were times I was just going to Nigeria just for the weekend. It was awesome. And then there was one time I also got sent to LA, and during that 7 years I also honed in on my craft of script writing. So I started script writing for shows as well. Started coming up with concept for shows and writing for different presenters, and networked with so many people, and it was just phenomenal. And I got a lot of credits to my name now. So I worked on quite a few shows as well. There was a show called God's Children Great Talent, which was quite big in Nigeria. Did a lot of voiceover work for TV shows in Nigeria. So I'm really grateful for the opportunities that came from that.
What advice would you give to any young lady or young man that's out there that wants to get into the TV industry or the media industry at whole?
I would say that you have to really know who you are, because it's an industry that can easily change you and shift your focus to something that you never even thought you should be thinking about. Like for me, as soon as I entered the industry, I realized it has the potential to be quite fickle. I mean, it's very sort of image based to some extent, and it's all about who you know, not what you know. There was a time when I was actually I went to Nigeria to film my own show, because I was given my own show called Out and About with Lola, which saw me go to different places in London and Nigeria and just interview loads of celebrities. And because I had friends in high places, I said, okay, do you know what, I want to interview this celebrity, and they're like, okay, it's just a phone call away. I'll just advise anyone to kind of have an idea of what they want to get into, to not lose hope, to actually be doing something actively right now. So if you're looking for that opportunity of getting your own TV show or whatever, make sure you have a blog, make sure you have a vlog, just get content out there. You know, at most they want to see what you can do, what you have to offer, and just be yourself. It seems so cliche, but if you actually enter into this industry believing that you have to act this way or be this way, it's gonna really hit you hard when you realize that you can't keep the act up.
So you've also given really practical tips out there. You said, you know, create content, keep going, and be yourself. So that is something that I hope the viewers out there can like take on board.
Wow, and don't burn bridges on your way up. Hilarious.
I would like to know now then. Lights on or lights off, Lola?